So we talked about before, right? If we have a skin here, and let's say there is a cut in the skin, then there is a potential for pathogen or anything to enter in through here. And in these scenarios, our body can carry out an inflammatory response. And what I want you guys to remember, if you are answering a question relating to this, you also want to include these signs of inflammation. So when there is a response, you will see redness in that area, pain, heat, and swelling. These are the key signs of an inflammatory response. And we also want to remember some of these chemicals involved. So let's say that there is a pathogen that's potentially entered. Any injured cells will begin to release this thing called cytokines, and you're going to hear this word quite often. So cytokines are signaling molecules that attract white blood cells to come to the site of infection and to help destroy the pathogen and prevent it from progressing further. So in general, what is the role of white blood cells? Fight against any pathogens. They help with the immune response. So the cytokines are calling these cells to come in. Does anyone know what phagocytes are? And what do they do? Engulf. Exactly. So they're a type of white blood cell that will engulf any invading pathogen. Okay. Now, the white blood cells are coming now to this area that there is an infection. And there's two things that help them here. So first thing is our blood vessels dilate. So they go from a size like this, they increase like this. So this will increase the volume of blood that's flowing through, and therefore the number of phagocytes that arrive to that site. So the blood vessels are near this site, right? And secondly, we have another chemical called histamines. Histamines, what they do is our blood vessels, they will increase the permeability of the blood vessels so that phagocytes can actually exit and go to that site of infection. And then we can relate it to here, permeability. Permeability is like how, I guess, easy is it for these to then exit the blood vessel. So if the vessel is more permeable, it's easier for them to get out to that site of infection. The whole point of this at this stage is we want phagocytes to come in through the blood vessels. We want them to go to wherever the infection and pathogens are. So they would be here. And we want them to engulf the pathogen or whatever the foreign body is that we're trying to eliminate. So these things have helped us do that. And then once it gets to that point, your phagocytes can then go ahead and engulf the pathogen and foreign body. That's kind of the overall response here. And the process of engulfing the pathogen is what we call phagocytosis. So if you get asked about inflammation, right, you can stop here, like till here. You still want to end it with explaining what phagocytes do there. But I can also go ahead and explain what phagocytosis is in detail. So once your phagocytes are at the site, they will engulf the pathogens. And the way that they do it is they change shape and they surround that pathogen. And once they've done that, they'll start releasing enzymes to help digest and break down the pathogen. Okay. So the phagocyte will first detect that there is a pathogen there. It will change shape, like I said, you see step 2, and it will enclose it in a vesicle. You'll see something like this. And then lysosomes will release enzymes to help digest the pathogen. And essentially all the harmless particles are released, and leftover fragments are then expelled from the phagocyte.